Hello and welcome to today's financial news, brought to you by FX, a multi-regulated Forex broker. Here's what's happening on the markets today.
Tesla's stock surged by 22.7% on Wednesday, closing at $272.20. The rally was driven by its addition to a Wall Street firm's Best Ideas list, signaling optimism despite recent challenges. The Australian stock market index traded above $7,700 on Thursday, reversing losses from earlier this week, as Donald Trump announced a pause on many of the new tariffs announced last week for 90 days. U.S. gasoline futures dropped to around $2 per gallon, the lowest since December, as fears of a global slowdown hit energy and equity markets. Prices fell alongside crude oil, driven by rising tensions in the U.S.-China trade war. The euro climbed back to $1.10, approaching its strongest level since October 2024, as escalating trade tensions and signs of political stability in Europe buoyed the single currency. Ether fell to around $1,600 this Thursday, decreasing over 3% due to escalating U.S.-China tariff tensions, which have impacted the broader crypto market. Now let's review the major economic events of the day. At 1:30 a.m., China to release the annual inflation rate for March, following -0.7% in February. At 12:30 p.m., the annual inflation rate in the U.S. is expected to decrease, after reaching 2.8% in February. At 12:30 p.m., the U.S. will release figures for the Consumer Price Index of March, following 319 in February. Tomorrow's major economic events. At 6 a.m., the UK to release the gross domestic product for February, following -0.1% in January. At 12:30 p.m., the producer price inflation in the U.S. is expected to increase, after reaching 0% in February. At 2 p.m., the U.S. will release figures for the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index of April, following 57 in March.
And that's it for today's Market News Roundup, presented by FX. Thanks for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again tomorrow for more financial news.